Now at 7, historic transition of power. Cuba's National General Assembly vote to elect the country's new president. The results of the election won't be made public until tomorrow, but we already know who will be Raul Castro's successor.
That's because there's only one candidate. He is 57-year-old Miguel Diaz-Canel. As Cuba's first vice president, he's been groomed for this new role, one that critics charge will be more of the same old policies.
Patrick Oppmann is a television correspondent. He's based in Havana, and he joins us now. And Patrick, the National Assembly members cast their ballots today. So what happens tomorrow?
There'll be an announcement, and we expect a speech. Tomorrow, of course, is the anniversary of the end of the Bay of Pigs invasion. It's a highly symbolic day here in Cuba. So that's the day they have picked to end Raul Castro's reign and to essentially bring in a new face. And even though Miguel Diaz-Canel is someone who's been involved in government for the last 30 years in Cuba, he's not very well known. In the last few years, his profile has risen very much, has risen quite a bit. But most Cubans really don't have a sense of the man, so I think more people will be paying attention tomorrow if he does give a speech. We're expecting him to come out and be involved and have more of an appearance in public life. How much he will really be able to run the show here is still an open question. There are still a number of historic figures from the Castro generation, from the revolution, that are going to be involved in government here. And Miguel Diaz-Canel, as someone who was born after the revolution, and as well, you're going to have Raul Castro as head of the Communist Party. So none of those things really seem to indicate that Miguel Diaz-Canel is going to be a transformational figure, that it'll be someone who will be able to exercise the same amount of power that Raul or certainly Fidel Castro exercised. So I think people here are waiting to see really how this will affect their lives, if there will be any change.
Patrick, you live there in Cuba. Why do people believe that he was the person chosen to take this title?
You know, in a short answer, he outlasted a lot of his competition. You had so many people from his generation that has been waiting for years now to take over for the Castros, and people who seemed, Cuban officials, too ambitious. Perhaps they got too much press. Perhaps they seemed like they wanted the job. They were purged, and Miguel Diaz-Canel was very much someone who played his cards close to his chest. He never seemed like he was aiming to succeed the Castros, and I think in large part that's why he got the job. At a certain point, Raul Castro decided that he was a person, because he's run several provinces here, the provinces of Villa Clara and Holguin, and then apparently he's an efficient person who didn't attract a lot of attention to himself, but got things done, and Raul Castro decided that he was a person, as much for those qualities as for there were not a lot of people left in their 50s and 60s who had survived these various purges. So Miguel Diaz-Canel has simply outlasted the competition to get the top job here in Cuba.
All right, Patrick Oppmann live for us in Havana this evening. Thanks so much for your report.